Starting. There we go. Hi all, and this is going to be my Sunday car boot haul. I'm doing it as a live hangout again, just because, like I mentioned in my previous live hangout, this requires no editing, straight on from the laptop onto my YouTube channel. So I find that fantastic. Hope you guys all had a really good Sunday. The weather obviously wasn't the greatest today. I don't know obviously about the rest of the country, but where I'm in the southeast, it was very overcast, very grey, and I think that can have an effect on just generally who turns up to sell and how busy it is, etc. And also, unfortunately, I only had one of my two boot fairs that I normally visit on a Sunday available to me. However, I still got some decent stuff that I would actually like to share. So let's get straight to the haul, just to show you guys what I've managed to pick up. So I'm going to start off slowly but surely. Now, this is the first item that I managed to pick up today, which is a board game, Kaplunk. You guys have obviously seen this around and about, I'm sure, in its many guises, but this is like the vintagey version, which does have its inserts. It's complete. I paid £3 for that, and that is going to go for roughly, I've seen it sell for between 15 and 19, 15 and 20 pounds, depending on obviously how long you're willing to wait, what the conditions like. This box does have a bit of tattiness to it. It's been sellotaped around the edges. I can show you, it's a bit tatty there. So sellotaped around the edges. The inserts are there, which is nice. I can show you that. Let me just quickly get this open. And I can show you just about the inserts are all there. I just don't want all the marbles falling out everywhere, but the inserts are all there, which is nice. The only thing that I think is missing that I've seen in other ones is there's like a marble carrying box, like a little box which holds the marbles. But anyway, so that's the first items that I picked up. So £3 should go for between 15 and 20. Pretty good. Next item I picked up was just a couple of soft plushes, Pokemon ones. There's a little Jigglypuff. I don't know who that is. I'm not sure who that is. Sorry, Bulbasaur. And there's Jigglypuff. Now these four I paid £1 for, so even though they don't have any tags on them, like as in retail tags, they still have their original tags. I should hopefully make a little bit on that. I wouldn't expect to make more than a tenner though. So, but for £1, it's acceptable. Things weren't looking mega busy, so I thought I'd pick that up as it was. Now, here's something that I picked up, which is pretty cool, but I'm a little bit iffy about. Now, this is a confused.com Brian the robot toy. So it's actually still in its original. You can see him in there. He's still actually in his original box that he was sent to the original owners to, and you can actually see they've still got the certificate letter as well. So certificate letter and the robot. Now, unfortunately, lady originally wanted, I think it was, I don't know, I think it was like 15 or something. I think in the end we settled on 11. Now, I should have really checked it a little bit more, because currently I think you're lucky to get about £20 maybe for these. You can get about 25. However, when these were first launched in March, they were going for about £50. So I'm hoping that I could put it up for maybe a little bit higher on weight, maybe around Christmas time. Say if Confused.com are advertising it a bit more, maybe pushing it a little bit more, then it may well kind of build up. So I'm hoping that I might get closer. But the Brian the robot, not bad. £11. I'll still make a little bit of profit on it if I sell it at its current prices. But I'm more than likely to see if I can try to get top dollar. But it's looking not as likely. I should have been quicker on the uptake and gotten that one in March. But hey ho, it happens. Now I've got here another Friends box set. Now this is really cool. The box is a bit tatty, but that's okay, because the last one I picked up had some missing discs, which I was gutted about. But these, some of them are actually sealed in their cellophane wrapping, so they've never been watched. So this should be an easy sell. So the box is a bit tatty of this one, but I actually bought one last week for £3. So this one cost me a fiver. So in total, Friends box set has pretty much cost me £8, if you consider the one I bought last week, and that will still return me a decent decent little profit. I've seen them go for between 25, 35 pounds, dependent on quality. And considering some of those are sealed, I should get closer, hopefully, to the top end. Now, this is an interesting one. I actually found a pair of really nice, like super high top Converse, but and my daughter wanted them, and she doesn't want these anymore, so these are now going to be going on sale. I originally picked these up for £1.50, which is pretty cool. These are like ankle high green Converse with like a little pink logo. These were £1.50, so that's pretty awesome. So those will sell probably for about 15, 20 pounds maybe. Okay, what else did I get? Here's another interesting item. Only 50p for this guy. This is actually pretty cool. He's damaged. This Mr. Burns. It's a Mr. Burns figure. You can see if you look closely, his little pinky fingers that he joins up like that. They've been snapped off, unfortunately, which is quite sad. And he has got like a crack on his neck. However, it was 50p, and it's a Sideshow collectible now. If you guys don't know, check out Sideshow Collectibles. They're a very premium company. This isn't one of their best pieces by a long way. They tend to make really decent quality like figures of comic book characters, movie characters, etc. And then this is made of polystone, so that's what they tend to use. You can see this is actually numbered. This is 639 out of 3,000, and it was from 2003. But 50p, even though it's a bit broken, I reckon if I can get like 15 quid for that, that would be pretty good. But we'll wait and see. Bit of an impulse buy because I'm not a motorcyclist, but these looked interesting, and they look a bit worn around the tops, these boots, but you can see that the treads are really good condition. And I saw that it said inside the boot, it's hard to show, but it said inside the boot made in Italy. And as soon as I saw it said made in Italy, I took a punt on them. I got these. Originally, guy wanted £5, but he took 4, which I think is a really good deal. So I should get a decent profit. I'm not sure exactly how much these boots do range, but if I can get £20, £25, I'd be pretty happy with that. I might be able to get a bit more once I've identified the model, because it's always important to try to identify the model of whatever you're selling, because it can make a huge difference. So that's that. Okay. Now here's another brand of footwear. There's another bit of footwear. Picked this up for a £5 from a lady here. This is by Columbia. Now Columbia I've not had much dealing with, apart from I bought a pair of size 14 like trail running boots a little while back, and they sold okay. And these look brilliant. These look like they look like they're new. I don't think they've ever been used. They look absolutely awesome. They just look like they've been in the box, and that's all. The other boots actually still got the tag on them. These are waterproof. They look awesome. They're made very well. So you can actually see this other boot still got like a zipper, the tag, it's like the brochure. They've never been worn. For £5 is an absolute steal. Waterproof, impermeable. I reckon if I put these up for long enough, for about £30 to £40, I reckon I'll get that comfortably. And they're a UK 7 ladies size. I'm pretty happy with those. So for a £5, an absolute steal. I was expecting lady to be asking a bit more, but she was like, yeah, £5. I was like, okay, I'm not going to argue. Let's get that out of the way. Okay. Okay, let's move that out of the way. So far, I've shown you guys the Kaplunk, a couple of bits of footwear, friends, etc. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, moving on. Not the best value bundle, however, I think I did okay. I paid £20. I paid £20 exactly, and for the £20, I got let's have a look. Quite a few PlayStation games. Most of these are no good. Most of them, I won't lie, they're not. There's no big titles in there at all, but great for bundles. There is SSX in here, which sells for about even the platinum version, yeah, SSX Tricky, that sells for about £5 or £6 I've seen. So that one I can take out, but the rest of them are pretty naff. I've got actually Guitar Hero World Tour as well. So I've got those games, and I've got 2 controllers, which is awesome. I've got 2 controllers, the all the wires, an iToy, because there's an iToy game in that bundle of games that I've just shown you there. I also got, obviously, the PlayStation. It's a silver PlayStation, so silver PlayStation, 2 controllers, a bundle of games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 games. One of which is Guitar Hero, and I actually got the guitar as well. So pretty good deal, I think, overall for 20 quid. I mean, if I sell one of the controllers alone, I'll get a tenner for that. If I wait long enough and take decent enough photos, I reckon I can get about a tenner. And then the console itself, bundled up with all this stuff, should bring me a decent profit. So that's pretty cool. Now let's have a look. It's a bit of a weird thing. I think I did actually do a Q&A thing. Oh, there we go. Select the question. Okay, I've got it. Where do you get them? Get what? Those boots look cool. Got them from Boot Fair. I don't know which boots you're talking about there, but just got them from the Boot Fair. So now here's another item. I got this pretty awesome. It's this, which is a WWE playset. Door opens there. Got a little platform here. Now this is an older version. It's like an older playset, and it's got like 2 lockers, and it's got a toilet as well, which is pretty awesome. There you go. Now this I picked up for £3, which is pretty good, £3. Bearing in mind this is like from the year 2000. I've seen these setups go for between 20 and 30. Mine's not fully complete. I've got to test out the battery yet, so I'm hoping I'll get something. I don't think I'll get 20. I don't think I'll get like 30, but I reckon I should be able to pull in about £20 for this. And from £3, that's brilliant. What caught my attention was it's got the Stone Cold Steve Austin skull there, which is kind of my era of when I used to watch wrestling a lot. It was all about Stone Cold. Got a cool door there, so people can have fights. You got Mankind's name there. You got a little poster there. You got a toilet, which is fantastic. So that for £3, I think, is very cool, and that should get me hopefully between 20 and 30. I reckon probably closer to 20 would be like the more accurate amount. Now, there we go. I also picked up another VCR. So that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I paid £5 for this. If it had worked, I would have been looking at between £30–40 back on that. It had the remote control as well, which is not always the case. So that's great. However, I plugged it in. It powers on absolutely fine. And when I try to put the tape in, it just won't accept the tape. I'm not sure what happened. When I actually initially switched it on, it already had a tape in, which it duly spat out at me. It was like, no, I'm not having any of this. So that was a bit of a shame. But since then, I've been trying to put other tapes into here, and that doesn't work. So bit gutted. That's £5 I've lost. But it happens. I've considering the amount of VCRs I've picked up. If you do lose some money, then to be honest with you, you can't really begrudge it, because over the past few weeks, God knows how many VCRs I've bought and sold, and they don't tend to be faulty. So if I do hit a couple of faulty ones, I can't suddenly go, oh my God, they're too risky, I'm not going to bother with these. There's too much risk attached to it. You can't think like that. You have to just put it down to, it's £5. That's less than a large doner kebab, and just leave it at that. That's what I would say. So that's that. Now, what else have I got to show you? Whoop. It fell off my chair. I think I'm nearly done. That leaves me. No, nearly done. There you go. Now, this is an interesting find. There's a guy that had this really old vintage Sanyo cassette player for sale. Now, this is pretty awesome. It's made in Japan. This is probably 70s. It takes 4 AA batteries. Now, unfortunately, I mean, he only wanted 50 pence for it. And, I was like, 50 pence can't go wrong. I did the rookie mistake. I didn't check the battery pack. The batteries were so corroded that like a couple of the springs on one side snapped off. So the battery compartment is now not going to be any use. So you're not going to be able to power this via battery, which is a bit of a shame. Let's have a look. That is a bit of a shame. However, it does also take a 6-volt DC adapter. So what I might do is try it out with a 6-volt adapter and see if it works. And if it does work via that, I can still sell it as a vintage working piece, and mention obviously that there's massive damage to the battery compartment. I mean, this is a pretty funky cassette player. You can adjust not only the volume, you can adjust the balance, you can adjust the pitch, like the speed at which it's played. You've got all the normal buttons. And it's really good quality. I mean, this is when Sanyo were considered decent, I guess, because they made their stuff in Japan. It's like really built nicely. Now, 50p for that in itself, even with the battery issue, is a good deal. I reckon you could, if it was fully working, you could probably ask 30-40 pounds for something like this. I reckon I'll be lucky to get maybe around 20, if assuming it works via power. So I have to check that out, but I only spent 50p. Now, the cool thing about this was I only spent 50p on this. The guy was just like, well, you know what, I've got a bunch of audio tapes, and he gave me this whole sack of audio tapes for free. Now, audio tapes in general are not worth any money. However, I've got so many classic ones in here. Like, I've got some Led Zeppelin in here as well. I've got, you can make an easy bundle. I've got like Bob Dylan, and some of the stuff I've actually checked. One of the Bob Dylan tapes, I think is this one here. This one here has sold on its own for £6, because it's one of the rarer ones with the actual sticky label on the cassette. So if you're looking out for like really old cassettes, and you want to make sure you get like the most valuable version, or if you pick up a job lot, I think what I've seen, especially what I've seen on eBay, this particular run of the Bob Dylan Freewheeling album sells for about £6, and I've got, like I said, a stack of these. I've got Led Zeppelin in there. I've got ABBA. I've got God knows what else. I mean, I've got some really obscure stuff as well that I don't know. Country Grace, what's this? I've got some Status Quo. This is worth a lot. I've got Gold Bars and Volume 2 as well, both of those. So that was just thrown in for me, so I really cannot complain. So 50p for this, which, if it works, even if it doesn't work, I'll get good money for it, because it's vintage, it's retro, it's cool. That's what people like. People want to be reminded of when things were brilliant. I mean, this can double up as a house brick if you need it to. It's built so nicely. The materials used are great. In the mechanism is still solid. Really cannot fault that. So I know it's a bit of a broken buy. So I've had not the best luck with broken items today. Like, that's not working, and obviously the VCR I showed you is not working as well, which is a shame. But for 50p, the tapes alone will do that. Now, even though it wasn't the best and busiest boot fair, one thing I've got to say is you've got to keep positive, and you've got to keep just keep going, because you never know what the next stall will hold. Someone else new might drive up and have something you want, and even if you're having one of those days where everything you look at, you're getting pipped to the post. Like if you have one of those days where just as you get to a stall, you hear someone saying, how much for this awesome bundle of, I don't know, N64 boxed with all these games or whatever, and the guy says £5, and someone takes it from you in front of your face. That can happen. Let it happen. It will happen, in fact. It happened to me on numerous occasions. I mean, I lost out on an iPod today for like £10, which could have easily resold for about £40 to £50. I missed out on, God knows how many things. I try to not think about it too much, but I did miss out on things. I remember missing out on them when I was there, which makes it all the worse when you get there really early. However, if you don't keep your cool, then you won't catch some awesomeness. Now, reason why I'm saying all this is because I'm feeling pretty smug about myself, because I did catch some awesomeness. I came across a lady, funnily enough, the same lady that the guy bought the iPod from. The guy bought an iPod from her for £10, and I was thinking, oh damn it, I missed it again. However, I went back to her a while back, a while afterwards, and I saw that she had some amazing stuff for sale. Now, if it turns out that she had actually run a coffee shop in Westfield, which she decided to close down. It wasn't worth it for her for whatever reason. Obviously, I didn't want to pry, but she was selling off her coffee gear. Now, this is phenomenal. I mean, I'm into my coffee anyway, and I've got like a really nice commercial coffee grinder. But this is really something. I'll show you guys. It's going to be a bit of a difficult item to maneuver, but this thing is just. I should have a drum roll. Oh, by the way, guys, you can actually leave comments and stuff on the if the five of you that are watching, you can leave five of you that are watching live, I should say, can leave messages and comments, and I can try to answer them. If you've got any questions about stuff, just leave a comment because I've set this up as like a question and answer thingy-majiggy, so you can actually leave a comment and I can try to reply to it. But let me just show you this, guys. This is awesome. I'm taking my time moving it because it's bloody heavy. All right, here is the pièce de la résistance. This is what has made the whole day worthwhile. This has put a nice smile on my face. Now, for those of you that are unsure about what this is a Mazza, which is a really well-respected manufacturer of coffee equipment for pro coffee equipment, so for coffee shops and stuff. Now this is a commercial grade coffee grinder which has like a timer on it, so you can set up things. I mean, it's got to be in the shot. Just look at this. This thing is beautiful. It's made in Italy. It's built just like a brick outhouse. This thing is heavy as hell, and the beauty of it is, I mean, it comes with an amazing tray as well. That tray sits underneath it to catch the stray coffee grinds, and this thing here it's just beautiful. There's like a little top. It's missing. Well, it's not missing. It doesn't come with a lid, like a top. Normally there's a thing called a hopper, which sits on top of a coffee grinder, and you put all your coffee beans inside of it when you're in a coffee shop. And then on a grinder like this, you can set a timer, and every 10, 20 or 30 minutes, depending on how busy you are, the machine's timer will tell the machine to switch on and start grinding coffee for you, which is pretty cool. Now, it doesn't have that. However, you can buy replacement hoppers from eBay and from other retailers for about £30. Now, this unit here, she wanted £50 for it, and I was umming and ahhing. I said to her, look, I know what it is. I think it's beautiful. I've got a commercial coffee grinder at home, but I was just thinking of something else. Just saw it. It was just beautiful. And she said I could do 40 for it. And at £40, it's a bargain. It's an absolute bargain. I'm very happy with it. So it's built amazingly. It does weigh a ton, so I will have to very seriously consider which way to sell this thing. Oh, it's so heavy. I mean, I don't know how much it weighs, but this is the Mazza. It's called the Mazza Luigi. Okay, it's the Super Jolly Timer model. So this is this is like a £600-700 machine when it's new. Secondhand, these sell consistently for over 250, over £300, depending. So I reckon the condition this is in, it's not seen much use. It switches on fine. It purrs brilliantly. You don't want to run these without coffee in the actual burrs, otherwise obviously you'll wear the burrs out, which is not what you want to do. But I paid £40, and I could get up to, I reckon, 300 quid back. So that one item from 40 quid to 300 quid, if I can get 300, even if I can get 250, do you know what I mean? It depends really, but that is a really good purchase. So I'm gonna have to think about how to sell it first, whether I'm going to go the eBay route, whether I'm going to try Gumtree, or whether I'm going to try any other route, because it is a very heavy item, and I'd be concerned about shipping it safely, because last thing you want to do is to sell something like this and completely screw it up. But then again, for an item that could potentially sell for over £250, you could probably make a few make a few arrangements to make sure that it does get packed out safely. So it wasn't, like I said, overall, it wasn't like an amazing booth. I didn't pick up tons and tons of stuff. I only went to one, normally I visit two. But if you keep your cool and you keep looking, you keep positive, keep your eye out for things that aren't just the obvious. I mean, again, I can't tell you guys the amount of times I was walking past people fighting over Lego. Just how do you have any Lego? Do you have any Lego? Do you have any jewelry? Do you have any perfume? And when they find it, most people nowadays are aware of the value of those items. And the funny thing is, something as beautiful as this grinder was just sat there. There was no competition. I didn't have to elbow anyone. I didn't have to beat anyone up or anything. There was nothing there. There was no competition for it. Whereas for something like an iPod, where I saw the guy had it, and I was like, "Oh, do you want the iPod?" And he had it in his hand, and it was all, people are quick to jump on those items, but they're not necessarily going to jump on something like this. But if you think of the actual profit on return, this is definitely the way to go. So I'm utterly happy with that, and it's more common than you think. For example, you should also look out for Gaggia coffee machines. Gaggia make a nice espresso machine, which new sells for about £200. So if you can find one of those, I mean, I saw one last week, for £50. I didn't buy it because I'd actually run out of my cash, and I was trying to be strict on myself not to just keep spending. So I left it, but that was an easy profit for someone. £50, it could go to anything, but obviously I'm pretty happy with that. Well, guys, I hope you guys have found this useful. I did actually set this up as questions and answers, but I think only Mohammed Harris Sumer asked me a question about the boots. I'm not sure which ones, but if you guys do have any questions, and please feel free to leave them in the comment section. You can always leave them in the actual while I'm doing this live. If you're watching it, I mean, there's only 6 people watching it, but obviously afterwards leave your comments and things like that, and I will get back to you. But definitely can't tell you enough how pleased I am with the Mazza. I'm just going to show you one more time, because just in case you haven't seen it, there it is. Absolutely amazing. This is machinery. This is like engineering. I mean, this thing is built. It's beautiful. I'm not even sure if I'm going to sell it, to be honest. I might get rid of my crappy grinder, but that's actually probably something I should get rid of. So guys, thanks for watching the Hangout. I'm going to wrap it up now, because like I said, it was just a quick Hangout to show you some of the items that I bought. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. I'm going to try to maybe do these videos a bit more regularly. I might try to do them. I've called this number 1 because I'm thinking maybe next Sunday I'll do another one. Maybe I'll do another one, because I do have verbal diarrhea and I can just keep talking and keep talking. But guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, leave comments, questions in the comment section. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up on YouTube. If you dislike it, give it a thumbs down, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time.